Welcome to this video. My name is Vince, and today I'm going to be talking about why myself and also the investors I'm working with are actively allocating more money towards Abu Dhabi real estate in 2026 than Dubai. And I am saying that as someone who has property in Dubai. I hold a golden visa through property investment, yet I still see more opportunity in Abu Dhabi in most cases in today's market. So let's talk about it. First, I want to give you the 5 reasons briefly and then expand on each one of the points. So the first reason is simple supply and demand dynamics. Then second of all, better payment plans and lower fees. Third of all, you can be in the same country but experience a different lifestyle without losing any of the tax benefits. Then fourth, we have the financial sector and the growth that's happening there in Abu Dhabi, and also the stability that that actually brings to the city and the emirate. And then we have value for money. So let's start with the first one, supply and demand dynamics. So if we are looking at the amount of supply that's coming to the Dubai real estate market in the next roughly 3 years, then that number is around 300,000 units, right? Some people say it's much higher, some people say it's a little bit lower because developers always delay the projects, but it's a large number, right? Especially if we are looking at already how many ready stock is available in Dubai. And the fact that Dubai is making a lot of units, haven't been a huge problem in the past because the population growth was absolutely massive. But now we might see a little bit slower population growth in the next few years. So it's something you need to be very, very careful with. If we're looking at Abu Dhabi, on the other hand, in that same time period, we are only going to see around 30,000 to maximum like 40,000 units coming to the market. So it's roughly 10 times less supply entering the market in the same window. But if we look at the population growth, it's actually very similar. So Dubai as a city added roughly 210,000 new residents in 2025. And if we are looking at Abu Dhabi and just the city, the capital city, it added roughly 180,000 residents. Now, this is actually a very conservative estimate. We don't have official numbers for last year yet. It could actually be quite a lot higher than this. And if we are looking at the growth rate from a percentage point of view, Abu Dhabi has been growing at around 7 to 7.5% a year, whereas Dubai only around 5.5%, right? So on a percentage basis, Abu Dhabi is actually growing faster. And in terms of amount of new residents, it's around similar every single year now. Here's why supply stays so disciplined in Abu Dhabi. First of all, you have much stricter control from the top. The leadership in Abu Dhabi really caps the pace of new launches. They don't let developers flood the market with too many units. And also we are at a much earlier timing in the Abu Dhabi freehold cycle than in the Dubai freehold cycle. So you could say that it's a bit less mature of a market. Dubai opened up freehold ownership to expats in 2002, and Abu Dhabi only did that in 2019. So you have quite a big head start when we are looking at Dubai compared to Abu Dhabi. It's a younger cycle, right? More fresh. And also Abu Dhabi is trying to learn from some of the mistakes that Dubai made. So the city planning in Abu Dhabi is done in a way where it strategically avoids oversupply. And basically, again, it means that there is less launches, less units launching. Even if there is demand there, they are consciously not letting developers flood the market. Now, the second reason is better payment plans and lower fees. So you need to put less capital up front, you have softer terms, and also half the transaction cost. In Dubai, the registration fee, right, which you need to pay to DLD, Dubai Land Department, is 4%. In Abu Dhabi, that number is only 2%, which you pay to ADM. And if we are looking at payment plans from the biggest government developers, with companies like Nakheel, Amar, you're usually paying 70-30 or 80-20, right? So 70% or 80% during construction and 30% or 20% on handover. In Abu Dhabi, the standard now is around 50-50, sometimes even 40-60 from even huge governmental developers like Modon. So it's much more investor friendly, and you can get much more capital appreciation on the equity that you put in those couple of years while your property is being built. And you also pay as they build. So in Dubai, most of the time, the payments are just linked to dates, whereas in Abu Dhabi, the off-plan installments are also tied to construction progress. If the developer isn't making the progress that they promised you, then you don't have to pay them at that specific time, right? So you are more protected as well in that sense. Every project must earn its place. It has to be aligned to a master vision that Abu Dhabi has, the Vision 2030. Each development must fit this plan and also clear multiple review stages before getting approved, which is amazing from a peace of mind perspective. And also, it's not like a build anything free for all mentality that's there. In Dubai's market, even projects that don't really serve a place in the strategic plan sometimes get approved, or at least it did in the past. It's not really the case in Abu Dhabi. And also the prime plots, so the best plots, are generally not sold to small developers, so the quality stays higher on average. By the way, if you have any questions about the Abu Dhabi market, you are looking to explore what would be the best fit for you in terms of a project, feel free to reach out to me on WhatsApp. We can have a consultation, absolutely free of charge, explore some options for you, whatever your budget is. The third reason is that you can be, again, in the same country but have a different lifestyle than Dubai. I'm not saying that Dubai is bad by any means, and you can still find amazing opportunities, whether it's off-plan or ready property, even in Dubai. And Dubai will never be replaced. I like Dubai. As you can see, I am in Dubai right now. Abu Dhabi offers a different lifestyle for people who are maybe not, wanting to live in the hustle and bustle, like city lifestyle of Dubai all the time. The tax advantages don't change at all. You still have 0% income tax, 0% capital gains, 0% dividends, and only 9% corporate tax on your profits over around $100,000. But what you do get, which you don't really get in Dubai unless you are maybe in one of the most luxurious villa communities, is more space, in general bigger units, cleaner water. So you have mangroves all around Abu Dhabi, which clears the water. And that's why some of the beaches are so crystal clear and beautifully turquoise in Abu Dhabi. On average, you get slightly better air quality, superior roads with less congestion and less traffic, a much more calm and family-focused feel, and also world-class sports amenities like surfing, cycling, velodrome, and so much more that they are building there. And on top of that, also there is, I would say, more of a cultural play as well happening in Abu Dhabi with all the different museums that they are opening up left and right. On top of that, it's actually the world's safest city. So for 9 years running, Abu Dhabi has been voted the safest city on earth. My personal thesis is, you might not agree with this, and that's totally fine. I might be wrong, but my personal thesis is that a lot of people who are living in Dubai for a couple years now would actually love to live in Abu Dhabi, but there is just simply less new development there, or what is available, like Mamsha Saadiyat, is insanely expensive. As these amazing new projects are going to start handing over, like what they are building on Fahid Island, even on Saadiyat or Hudayriyat Island, I think a lot of Dubai entrepreneurs who are not tied to Dubai necessarily are going to move over there, or even people who are maybe older and retired. They are going to move over to Abu Dhabi from Dubai when these new communities start handing over, and then they will tell their friend about how nice it is to live there, and then they will move, they will tell their friends as well, and it will start this flywheel effect. So I think a lot of people now, the reason why they don't want to move to Abu Dhabi is because they think it's too old or it's too quiet, there isn't that much going on. But in 4 to 5 years, when these new areas develop, it's going to feel very different, in my opinion. Reason number 4 is the financial sector and the stability that gives to the city. Abu Dhabi holds around, close to $2 trillion in sovereign wealth funds across ADIA, Mubadala, and ADQ. And they also hold the bulk of the UAE's oil reserves, plus the major funds. So this creates a lot of long-term stability for the city. Even if they got just a measly 4% return on that $2 trillion, well, the city is basically set for life, right? They have so much wealth that they are holding. So that gives the city a huge safety net. And ADGM, the financial sector in Abu Dhabi, has been recently absolutely exploding. There was a 67% increase in newly issued licenses, 43% increase in operational entities, a 17% increase in the workforce, and 33% increase in assets under management. And you have huge companies like BlackRock, UBS, and JP Morgan already set up there in ADGM. So all of this growth is obviously bringing also a lot of new high earners to live in Abu Dhabi. And it's also going to drive up the real estate prices significantly. And then the fifth reason is value for money. I would say this is probably one of the strongest reasons out of all of them. For roughly half the price, you can get a comparable prime product. In Abu Dhabi, you can get a waterfront villa for under $4 million, right? In Dubai, you're not going to get that on the Palm or any of the best areas, really. If we look at the average price per square foot, it's significantly lower across the city than Dubai. But if we are looking at more so luxury investments, right, which is what I specialize in, again, you can get in Ramhan Island a beautiful new waterfront luxury villa for under $4 million. Dubai simply cannot match that. Or if we are looking at prime, absolutely prime, low density waterfront apartments, you can get them brand new for around 2,500, sometimes even less, to 3,000 dirhams a square foot in a sea-facing or at least waterfront location. It's really good value for money. Oftentimes, you're paying like half of what you would pay in Dubai for a comparable product. To summarize everything, we have supply and demand, around 10 times less supply with nearly identical demand. We have the better payment plans and lower fees, softer terms, and only 2% instead of the 4% in Dubai for registration. And also you have that peace of mind that you only have to pay once the construction progress has actually been made. Then we have the alternative lifestyle. So you still pay 0% tax, but you can enjoy a much calmer life, the safest city on the entire planet with more nature as well. You have the stability from the $2 trillion sovereign wealth fund backing, and also the expansion that's happening in the ADGM and the financial sector. And then also you have the value that you are getting for your money. So if we add all of these reasons together, I think we have a pretty strong case on why this might not be the worst place to buy real estate in the world. I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope you found it informative. Again, if you want to explore Abu Dhabi, see different options that you can access at your price point and your budget, then feel free to scan this QR code, shoot a WhatsApp message to me, or you can also schedule a free consultation in the description down below. I hope you enjoyed this, and I will see you in the next video.